All right. Live show against the world for the world. This is an old title. Hey, everybody. Welcome. 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 All right. Well, Happy New Year. I was scheduled yesterday for Sunday. You like my new lighting? I'm a little different. I changed something. I got a new light. Change that a little bit. That's what happens when you're live. I was taking a nap and just everything was just, it's New Year's Day. It's New Year's Day. Well, welcome everybody. Sorry I was doing this yesterday. It was scheduled and then some things and just, I get busy. You get busy. So I'm sorry. I saw a few comments. People are like, I'm confused. What's going on? So welcome. If you're watching this after the fact or if you're watching this now live, say hello if you are watching this live. And yeah, Keanu's here. Hey, Q. How are you? So we're gonna do quick-ish, and when I say quick, probably gonna be like 3 or 4 hours, but we're gonna be talking about the year and my 2 channels, really just one channel, and looking at what happened earlier this year as well. Hey V, welcome. And demonetization of my first channel, Richard T. Henry. I had started this one last year in September, 2022. I know you got to get used to that for about a month. I started Contra Talk, this channel, specifically just for the Contra Talk shows. So just those longer form talks where I have a guest on and I'm doing topical whatever, talking about theology, dispensationalism, whatever, problems with the culture, whatever it is. I've done less and less of the reactionary kind of discernment videos. I like those. I think those are good. I think a lot of them are a dime a dozen, and a lot of times people say the same stuff, and I just don't have a lot of time for it. There's quite a few out there, you know who they are, and that make a cottage industry of doing that. I don't know their personal lives, their motives, anything like that. Obviously, calling out false teachers is a good thing. Overall, more than not. Sometimes people get a little carried away and it gets a little nitpicky, and it's kind of like, it's just, move on. But it's good, Hymenaeus and Alexander, we know. Demas, there's many times Paul and others talk. Jesus confronts the false teachers and also the Pharisees, the Sadducees to their face, and so on. So it's needed for sure. It's just sometimes people, I think, do it over the top, and I felt like sometimes I was doing it a little too much. So anyway, all that to say, I don't really do those videos anymore. So newsflash, I don't really do those videos anymore. We're going to look at this last year, 2023, and just kind of what we talked about, what I talked about, some of the guests I had on. We're going to look at my first channel. My main channel, now is kind of a defunct, dead channel because it just is. So I got demonetized. So for those who don't know, I get demonetized in the spring, and yeah, it was one of those. Here we go. One of those things that like YouTube didn't tell me really anything specific. It was just a matter of, how about we do this? There we go. Let's do this. We'll do this for now. So YouTube emailed me earlier in the spring, in April. I was at a men's breakfast thing and I got an email from my phone and, hey, your channel's been demonetized. I didn't get any warnings or any strikes. I had been monetized for like 2 months and I appealed it. I know Jason at Dear Woke Christian, who does great work. Y'all know him, at least some of you do. He had a similar issue, and we're not sure exactly why. Like, it had to do something with shorts and like something with, I don't know, some tags we used, hashtags, or I don't know. It was really weird. And so I appealed it and had to wait a month. Then I had to wait another month. And yeah, he is. That's right. That's right, Q. Is he still demonetized? I haven't talked to Jason. He texted me on New Year's Eve. We're going to talk on Wednesday. But I'm like, so they kind of did a rigmarole. They had to send me like snail mail, a code for AdSense to like plug in. And I did that like, I don't know, June or July, because I got in contact with them. Actually, Violet at Berean Babes had said, oh yeah, you got to talk to them on Twitter, now X. And I did, because you can't get in touch with YouTube otherwise, but they talk on Twitter. I don't know, it's weird. They own Gmail, like it makes no sense. And like there was some back and forth, and I told them, and and he's still demonetized. Wow, that's crazy. Well, he's still doing good. His camera setup's looking slick. I got a different light, which why it's like I look like I'm like telling a spooky story. So I'm gonna have to tweak this a little bit. I haven't had much time to do that, but I got this light for Christmas. It's like this big compared to my giant umbrella light. Anyway, yeah, so that was in the spring, and I was still doing stuff, and I was posting my Contra Talks on both channels. And now I'm pretty much doing only Contra Talk. I'm not doing any more. So this is my old channel. It's pretty much dead. I got a bunch of subscribers, like several thousand, like really fast, and then it just died. And it's been like that for a while. And again, I think it was because of shorts and hashtags, and I don't know. It's weird. So if you want to make up the difference with what I've not had as far as AdSense and things, buymeacoffee.com/Richard T. Henry. You can do that. I know some of you have done that. I need to get back to some things I did, and I am writing a book. And truthfully, the last few months have been pretty, really since July, a lot of troubles in different areas and lots of distractions and things that I've had to take care of. Thankfully, family's great. Jenny and the kids are great, but other things, not so much. So it is what it is. But I've been able to focus on other things, had to focus on other things. So I looked at here, really, this is my last channel post. This was Oliver Anthony. This was almost 700 views. He performed after he released that one video. I did a live back in July, right here. I got 10,000 views. And so this was his, sell my soul, working all day, good song, a little crass at times, but we're adults and okay. Very true, very, very bluesy, very, what is it? Appalachian, what they call it, Appalachian music, not country, folk. I'm sorry. I think it's folk. I think it's good. I'm not a huge fan of that music in general, but it's nice. Music's great when it tells a story. That's why a lot of like good Christian songs, good hymns, when they tell stories, it's great. And that's really what music is, right? So I did that. I did a Richard Reacts. I did a couple of these to the first debate, and then this Miss America. She's really more Mrs. America. She's Mormon, blah, blah, blah. And this whole thing, I actually wrote an article for TruthScript about that as well. This actual video, if you ever read that, that's the video I'm referencing. They're on the TruthScript website. I don't know if it's posted or not. But all that to say, these are the last videos I've done. Because it's not worth it. I kept like losing subscribers. I'd get several, and then I'd lose several, and I'd get several, and I'd lose several. And again, I just stopped trying. Anyway, kind of annoying, kind of dumb. So this channel's I'm not going to delete it. Just so you know, you can go back to watching it if you want to, or old stuff. This is my video from getting demonetized. Shorts are fun. I've got some fun shorts on there. I've posted a few things since, but 50 views. This one was 5,000. Like, oh, that's 5,000.
What do the attacks?
That's that was Israel and Hamas. So got demonetized. I got monetized in like February because I just passed 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost to 500. So if you want to share or can share, please share. And if you're watching this after the fact, please like and subscribe if you like this content. I really do appreciate it. It does help out the channel. If you get past 500, you can do, I don't know, certain subscription things, little, they can super chats and people can like drop you tips. You don't get AdSense past the 500. You have to get past 1,000. So that's something. Again, you're not going to make a millionaire. At least I'm not. I know some millionaires are on YouTube, but they're few and far between. So buckle up. Mark Dice. He's got some pretty good stuff. Not everything's great, but he's been around a long, long time, does some pretty good work. Let's see here. All right, so let's swap over to here. 15 away from 500. So I've got this channel. So this is Contra Talk, and these are videos I'm doing every week. I'm going to reformat it a little bit for the new year, but the most recent one was with Andrew Krapushatz, great last name, from Moscow. He's part of Christ Church there. He started a bunch of businesses. It's a great conversation if you've not watched that one yet, talking about business, starting a business, the reason for money in businesses and things like that. It's important. And a lot of Christians kind of think we should be exempt from money, or we're kind of allergic to money, or you shouldn't make money. And it's like, you can bless people. You can, store up for your children and your children's children, treasures and things. Like the Proverbs talk about that. Nowhere is money seen as bad in Scripture. Yeah, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, but money isn't. Right? That's one of those misappropriated texts. So talk to him, talk to Daniel Hummel here, dispensationalism, which is a premillennial dispensation. So that's the classic rapture, 7-year tribulation, Antichrist, very literal, quote unquote, very popular in America, and is a new belief in the last 200 years or so. There are some who would say that it goes back to the fathers. He talks about that quite a bit in his book. He's a standard traditional or historic premillennial, not a dispensationalist. So he doesn't believe in a rapture and things like that. I don't either. But anyway, was able to finally nail down a conversation with Calvin Robinson. We're just going to work backward. How about that? And this was great. You've probably watched this because it's got a lot of views, maybe not. But I'm going to try and do more clips, at least 1 or 2, and then a short or 2 or 3 as well. So if you want to see a little glimpse of something, click on the shorts and you can see, part of those. You can see these most recently. I've got some with Calvin and with Andrew and Daniel as well. But these are nice, and I've seen that, and just trying to study, how YouTube, the successes in YouTube. If anybody has any suggestions, give me a shout, or tips. It's difficult because I want to provide good content. I want to do as well as I can, but you also can't be perfect, right? Just like this isn't perfect. So anyway, Calvin Robinson, great conversation. If you don't watch it, he did cut off his fro, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. And we talk about the Church of England. He's actually not in the Church of England. He was ordained there, but he's not really in it. And that's just, again, a whole other thing. Real great guy. He's talked in a number of different areas. He's, of course, in England, got a great accent, all the rest. So great conversation. Talked to Mark Jasa a couple times this year in the fall. He's my resident Lutheran. He's out in Southern California. And talked about the Lord's Supper and baptism and the Lutheran belief. I know Presbyterians, have had quite a few Presbyterians on the show. And so we talked about Sola Scriptura as well. Those are great conversations because I think some of that stuff's really, it's, with us Baptists and Bible Christians and just kind of non-denoms, we're so bare bones. And I think sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes we're just like, I don't get it. This is dumb. And it's like, is that really what they believe though? Like, that's actually not what they believe, and then you have to kind of back up and think, okay, what do they believe? I'm getting a little bit of a shadow, aren't I? Yeah, I don't know. It's not too bad, I guess. I'll fix it later. Like this. I don't know. Anyway, so it's good. I think it's good to study and talk to and listen from other denominations and other perspectives, because too often do we get caricatures of something. And I mean, we do this with politics all the time, right? Because we think, oh, that person is just a freak. They're just a leftist. They're just a stupid conservative. They're just a whatever. And it's like, we just continually be in our echo chamber. And I mean, there are right answers and wrong answers, right? There is standard truth. There is foundational truth. Like, it's objective, not subjective, right? And so we know that it's better to have this policy than that policy. Some policies are better than others. Some policies are worse than others. Some beliefs are better than others. And it's like, well, why do you believe that? Well, because, that makes God blank. that impugns God's character, or that lifts up God's character, or that, examines his holiness, or that diminishes his holiness, or, whatever. And then people can understand better how the other person ticks. And I think, especially as Christians, we can love other Christians better, right? And we can be, as Christ said, all the world will know that you're my disciples if you have your love for one another. And likewise, we can be unified even if we go to different churches or even different denominations, but we can still stand toe to toe, or shoulder to shoulder rather, with each other toward the world. Because the world is passing away. Let's not forget, the world doesn't know what a border or a baby is, what marriage is, what money even is, fiscal responsibility, none of it. It's all just insane chaos. And so if we differ on soteriology or eschatology or ecclesiology, well, that's not that big of a deal. There's sure we need to pick those things, but sometimes, like I was saying with the discernment stuff, we get a little carried away. At least some people do. So all that to say, loony leftists, that's right. That's really true. So I did talk to Nancy Pearcey. I was quite surprised this conversation didn't do as well as far as the views go. Maybe it'll last longer. Of course, I'm not going to delete anything. We always want instant. But this was great conversation. If you not talk to her or listen to this, she was with Francis Schaeffer and Edith Schaeffer years ago in the 70s in L'Abri, which is up in Switzerland, or it was. I guess it's still going. Different, of course, because Francis Schaeffer died in the 80s, and Edith, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. This was fun. Troy Skinner talked about home church, and here was another one talking about what I just said. What do Arminians believe? That's a good conversation. And he confirmed a few straw men that I thought were straw men that weren't, or kind of partial straw men. So I was like, well, that's good to at least know. Talked to a friend, Chase Davis. He's a pastor out in Colorado. About Acts 29. They were in Acts 29. That's a good conversation as well. Really good. As far as giving light to Acts 29 and just kind of the weird unilateral brokenness that the thing really is. They were kicked out, and of course he has, his own view, and that's fine. But they didn't even do anything wrong, like as by all accounts, at least. And he tells the story; it's good, but it's just they were just unilaterally removed. There was no like recourse or anything. So, but they're doing really good stuff. They're in Colorado, Boulder. I think it's Boulder, Colorado. Friend, my mentor, one of my old mentors, Mark Coppinger, great conversation. We did a live as well about the public worship, if you've not seen that, and the Satan statue that was destroyed a couple weeks ago in Iowa. So we talked about that. That was a hope to have more. It was last minute, try to put some people together, and a few people weren't able to join that I thought, but he was later in the show, about minute 40 or so, minute 42. I'm going to try, hopefully do more of these. I've wanted to do this for quite some time, where I visit another denomination, another church group. And so this was a Christian church, a Christian church. And yeah, it can be a lot of it's low hanging fruit. And you're kind of like, all right, I get it. I got it. We're good. I got it. People are still going to believe Joel Osteen. So anyway, I'm looking at you, Colin Miller. No, I'm just kidding, but sort of. So hopefully I'm going to talk to, there's a couple Mennonite churches around us, some Amish too. I don't know if the Amish will talk to me. I think the Mennonites will. And then there's a Catholic church. It's not a high Catholic church. And then there's one other one. Oh, an apostolic church that's near us that I'm definitely going to be talking to hopefully next week. And those are a little bit more required as far as like filming and editing and things, but I'll put that stuff together. It'll be a lot of fun. So look out for those in the new year. Killing your PORN use. Really good conversation with Timothy Regal. Great guy. Coach, male dude, manhood type of guy, man's man guy. He was enslaved to that for a long time and helps guys get out of that. This was a Twitter conversation I had, or exchange I had a few months ago. I'm off Twitter now entirely. Just deleted my account a couple months ago. I was just wasting too much time on it and just not at all helpful. I got a lot of friends who are on Twitter, and that's fine. And I'm glad they're on Twitter. Maybe I'll get back on it at some point, but I'm not doing it right now. I just don't have the time, and I don't have the energy, and the pit in my stomach that you get when you like anticipate a response or the response is there. It's unhealthy. At minimum, pragmatically, it's unhealthy. If other people don't feel that way, great. Yeah, I do feel that way. So it doesn't work. He's got a decent following on Twitter as far as size goes. He goes by Daniel. I don't even think that's his real name. He also doesn't have his face showing, as you can tell there in the little thumbnail. Welcome to Contra Talk. My name is Richard Henry, and this
be born in a country that's predominantly Christian. So
there we go. Yeah,
I just want to bring that up.
This is his handle. And yeah, again, it was a great conversation talking about atheism and how he left atheism and became a Christian and all that, kind of growing up in church, sort of, but not really. And his parents were divorced, et cetera, et cetera. And this was the director of the Essential Church, the film that MacArthur's community church, Grace Community Church, put on. So that was really good. And I was able to talk to Doug Wilson. He was the first episode of season 4. A little note, and I'll put it on. Maybe I'll make a video. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm just going to do episodes. And maybe I don't need to say this. I could just do it. But I've done 4 seasons of Contra Talk, and they were like 2 seasons per calendar year. And like, I'm really specific and really detailed in some regards for reasons, and other reasons I'm not at all, or other ways I'm not at all. That's where Jenny picks up a lot of the slack, because she's really organized and does a lot of great stuff for the house and for me that I didn't know I really needed until I see it. But other stuff, I'm like kind of a perfectionist. So probably why I don't do as much content as I could or should or whatever. That being said, I'm going to count up how many episodes I've actually done. And now this is episode, 58, 59, 60, 61, and just start counting that way. So just saying that, whether that matters or not, whether you care or not, you probably don't, but that's all. So these are several clips from I was doing some like Throwback Thursdays, which I might get to doing again, where that clip comes up from an older show. Did a review of the Essential Church as well as the Sound of Freedom. That's where I'm kind of reading a script, something I wrote, but it's less stream of consciousness, as it's called. Here's a random video from VBS. And yeah, so I mean, I was able to go to the convention. I know many of you followed along with that. This was really good. A little raw clip from the female pastor, decked out in a rainbow garb. This is back in June in New Orleans. I was able to take the family down there with help from the church and meet up with some people and push against the lady preacher movement in the SBC, as well as other parts of drift and liberalism things. Sad Bart Barber won again. Not good. He's very mushy middle, kind of a mid guy. And Mike Stone ran. I think he's just got a bad rap, bad name. Although I think Mike Stone's a great guy, and I've talked to him a handful of times, but people don't trust him, like him, whatever. Really great. It's probably my best, and I think probably one of my best thumbnails. Arm wrestling Al Mohler and Rick Warren here. Yeah, Rick Warren's out, and I'm just so happy. I mean, I'm really am, and it was like 95% vote in favor. Like, it wasn't even remotely kind of close, and that was good. And that gives me hope, and that's one of those things, not the only thing, but one of those things that really makes me say that there's hope for the SBC, there's hope for the American church, and hey Vi, welcome. Sorry, I saw some of y'all's comments yesterday. Like, I'm confused. What's going on? Oh yeah, I got a little bit of a shadow. I got to fix that. Well, whatever. This is my new setup. It's a little more tall, dark, and handsome. Kind of like reading a book. Like, once upon a time, it was a dark and stormy night. Anyway, just reviewing some of the channel. Maybe let's make it let's do full screen just for fun. That way you guys can see a little bit more. Several other conversations. Had John Harris on, Conversations That Matter. This was a great talk with Brian Brian K. Shannon. He wrote a book about fatherlessness in the Black church and especially the Black community. Really great book. I only was able to read about half of it. I need to get back and finish that. This was a live conversation with a friend, Jeff, and Jared, both pastors in Tennessee. That's our Airbnb right there.
Pronged front on egalitarianism. So Rick Warren has been very clear that his doctrinal.
So that's a great conversation as well. Lots of good stuff. Like I said, these are all from this year as well. Looking at this, Doug Wilson was on earlier this year. Craig Blomberg was the first episode of season 3. No, second episode. This was Jay Williams. This was back in January, almost a year ago now, about AI. And AI is something that I think a lot of us are concerned about, and then we kind of forget about, and then we're concerned about it again, and then we forget about it again. And it's kind of funny, kind of weird. But AI, I think, is more important than we realize. What's funny, though, is that I asked ChatGPT, I was working on a sermon, and I put in a line from a song. It was a line from Joy to the World. And it said, this line is from Amazing Grace and talks about this and God's provision and how he's creator. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, that's from Joy to the World. That's from Amazing Grace. Like, it's ChatGPT, right? You know, the AI, you type in your thing and it spits out whatever. And I'm like, there's only two options. One, this thing is really stupid and it's just confused easily. Or two, it's intentionally that way. Like, you can't, like, it's getting like 2 + 2 = 4 wrong. Like, it's just the statement of fact. This is the thing. It's in this song, not that song. How can you, what? So, you know, it's probably intentional, maybe to make it less harmless. I don't know. I'm not terribly concerned about AI. I don't think you should be either. I don't know if the book's behind me or not. But 2084, John Lennox, scholar, mathematician out at Oxford in England. Great guy, lots of good books. Philosopher, kind of on the side, apologist and all that. He wrote 2084, of course, a riff on 1984. And that's a real easy read in that. Again, my friend, Jay Williams, talks about why AI matters, and he's got several other more scholarly books. He's getting his PhD in that from Southern Seminary and wrapping that up, I think, this year. These are all older conversations, as you can tell. Some of this is in my dining room. Everything's all kind of weird. My favorite ones, though, if y'all haven't seen, are where I don't have the wood behind me stained. Like, this is real wood. I can't reach it. It wasn't stained, and like the light was like reflecting on it so much it looked like bad green screen. So, hey, Vi. Yeah, did I say that? I think I did. Good to see you. It's good to see you too. I might get back to doing more lives because it's so easy. You just sit here and talk, and you don't have to edit anything. Don't know about editing. Not a fan. Like, I'm good at it, I guess, but I just don't like it because I always feel like I'm wasting time. I'm like, this is taking too long. Whatever. Anyway, back to this. Just doing our year in review. So these were all clips from over a year ago. This was back at the Fight Laugh Feast 2022. Toby Sumpter. He's a pretty solid guy. He was good to talk to. I think he's a little underrated. Where is the one with no stain? These are all, it's been a while. No, that one's just bright. That's like too bright a lighting. Tom Rush, another solid conversation I had. So that's the year in review. Ultimately, just kind of looking at the different things we did on the channel, stuff I talked about. If you all want, give me some suggestions, drop a comment, or tell me now, or well, maybe after, just drop the comment. That way I'll see it easier because I don't have something to write with. But who I should talk to or topics I should discuss. I might do Ask Me Anythings again. I know those became popular. And then I really haven't done one for months now. I feel like a lot of people were doing it. Now they're not. It's because I was setting the trend and people are like, oh, he's not doing it anymore. We must not be either. No, that's not true. Maybe I'll do that again. But drop a comment. Tell me who you think I should talk to. I do have a few things and some denominations as well you think I should try and go visit. I'm going to talk to the Apostolic Church here in town. I don't really know a lot about him. I know the pastor, great guy, real friendly. Hopefully going to try the Catholic Church. I got one of the supporters, viewers, he's Roman Catholic out in California, but he's like, hey, go to these churches. I was in Louisville because we're about an hour and a half from there doing some stuff. And I saw a couple Orthodox churches. So I want to hopefully do some Eastern Orthodox as well and just kind of get the differences in building and structure and worship and some fine, distinctives that we don't normally see or hear about. So anyway, drop a comment. Tell me what you think I should do, where I should go as far as denominations or people I should talk to in this new year. So yeah, that's really it. I did drop Twitter. Like I said, I am on Gab and kind of barely on Facebook. It's Jenny and me, Richard and Jenny Henry. So if you want to look us up there, you can. You can also do my email or my website, which is richardthenry.com. Easy way, although I know some of you all have my email or phone number already, at least some of y'all watching. Do that. Subscribe. See? Exclamation point. Subscribe. We need like that anime, like explosions in the thing and the whatever. No. My Proton Mail. I switched phones like 5 months ago and I have not connected my Proton Mail. I just realized that. I'm a terrible publicist for myself. If anybody wants to work as my assistant for free, let me know. And lastly, buymeacoffee.com/Richard T. Henry, buymeacoffee.com/Richard T. Henry. If you want to support me there, buy me a bag of groceries or something like that. That'd be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll connect face to face. I know some of us have, most of us have not. I know some of y'all gone to G3 or the conference, men's conference with John Harris or other things like that. I did meet a few people at the SBC meeting in New Orleans, which was great. It's in Indianapolis this year. I'm hoping to go. We'll see. There's some moving pieces and things that are going to be changing that I'll give more information on as time allows and time goes on. So that's it. Y'all have a blessed day. Kiana says she's going to do a better job keeping up. Yeah, that's right, Kiana. I was going to say something, but I'm glad you brought it up. Now, Kiana bought us dinner when we were coming back from New Orleans back in June. We went through Bama, Sweet Home, Alabama. University of Alabama, we went through there on the way down. It was a beautiful campus. Really nice. Started as a seminary, of course, in like 1818. And now is, a godless, secular pagan school like everybody else. That's what happens. It's just what happens. Always. I'm not good at keeping. Yes. Also you, Violet. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm really not either. I'll go back and forth with folks. It doesn't notify me. I'm subscribed to, I don't know, 50 people, different channels, 60. Some are like homesteading stuff and coffee roasting things. Oh, coffee roasting. I know. I think Kiana, was it you? I think it might have been one or two other people too, saying about coffee. So I finally am going to pull the trigger on the coffee roasting, home roasting for sale for a fair price. So I'm going to be doing that. Look out for launch definitely this month. Because you got to do like an e-commerce website and all that. So I'm going to launch it through my website, richardthenry.com. And I've already got everything lined up and bags and labels and all that other stuff. So look out for that. And if you want to buy some good coffee that way and support me in that way, I can give you a good coffee, whole bean coffee, freshly roasted, all the rest. And there'll be a few different roasts and flavors. So I'll let you guys know more about that as well. All right. Y'all take care. And Yes, one customer. My parents and Kiana. No, just kidding. Would you say you need to get on my popcorn? I need to get on my popcorn. Are you just, that sounds like something else, but you're probably just making popcorn. Popcorn's good. You're a tea drinker, Violet? Ah. MacArthur likes tea too. I know you like MacArthur, so you guys got something in common. No, I like tea. My problem with tea, and just now I'm just rambling. My problem with tea is it doesn't stay hot. It's either scalding hot like lava, or it's like, what is this? You know? I like black teas. Mint teas are good as well. I'll do it. I mean, I think what I probably need to do is like get in like lattes, like tea lattes. Jenny's like chais for a long time. Chai tea lattes. Of course, chai and tea. Chai is tea, I think, in some language. So it's kind of funny. It's like tea latte, but yeah. Oh, you owned a popcorn store. Oh, that's cool. You need to get back to making it and selling it. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Your wedding anniversary is the same as JMX. Oh, that's cool. That's fun. You'll have something to tell him when you see him face to face. Be like, hey, I like tea and we're both married on the same. This is my husband, Lou Ciccone. I love that name, Lou Ciccone. Anyway, tell Lou hi if he's not watching. By the way, bye. But yeah, I don't like tea because it's like too hot and then it gets cold too fast. It's like coffee, something in the coffee, the oils, the acid. I don't know. It seems to stay hot a little longer than standard tea does. I should do an experiment on that. Maybe I'll do like a video on that too. I've been tempted to like do like homesteading videos. I know I've said that before. I just don't have any time, or I don't make the time. I probably have the time. I don't know. If that happens, I'll say something. And yeah, so anyway, y'all take care. Again, if you do want to buy me a coffee at the moment, not a bag of coffee, although that's coming, you can just go to buymeacoffee.com/Richard T. Henry for effectively PayPal, right? It's better than PayPal or what's the other one? Zelle, all those, Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, all that. This, I think, is one of the higher percentage rates. So if you give $1, it's like, you get like 85 cents or 82 cents, something, 90 cents, whatever it is. Because YouTube only pays like 70 cents per dollar you earn. They keep the rest. It's a business. It's all a business. Anyway, the lighting looks good. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. There's a little bit of a shadow from like the tripod. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm going to have to fool with it. I got a little, it's like this big. It's a light and it goes from 3000 K to 5000, 5200. I don't know if it's Kelvin, I guess. It goes from like blue to red or warm. Real cool to warm, I guess. And it goes from the percentages too. I can hook it in. It's a Type-C plug. But it's also portable. So you can actually slide it onto your camera as well. So, yeah. Anyway, y'all take care. God bless. And till next time, be against the world for the world. All right. Y'all, we'll see you. Bye.